Hi folks, welcome to this edition of the Handy Randy Show. If you know anything about my show, you know that for about 20 years I have had a close association with the wonderful people at Summit Racing Equipment, and there's a misnomer about Summit Racing, and if you see the sign you're going to think, oh, racing equipment. They're much, much more than just racing. That's what got them here in the first place. They started with those hot rod things that made your car go fast because we had a need for speed when we had muscle cars. They've evolved quite a bit since, how many years? Kyle May is with me. Kyle May is the hot rod hardware expert. And how many years are we talking about now of Summit Racing?
10 years. Oh, Summit Racing overall? Oh, they date back to 1968.
Oh, so I was just out of high school when they started.
Yeah.
With those little stores around. As a matter of fact, the owner, I think, started in his basement even. Mm-hmm. Now, I mentioned Hot Rod Cafe or Hot Rod Hardware, which is a completely different department than the rest of the store. I'm a fond of going junking, going out and driving around, looking at yard sales and so forth. And one of the things I always have my eye on are pedal cars, because pedal cars are very, very collectible.
Yeah, they are. A lot of folks are collecting them for their homes, for their offices. Even restaurant chains are collecting them to put up in their establishments. So yeah, they're out there.
And you've reached out to that audience.
We have. What we've done is we've gone and remade some of the classic pedal car styles, and then we've built on those types of styles to have a kind of a cohesive offering across a wide variety, so that people will have a good selection to choose from.
And a tow truck is pretty appropriate.
Yeah, especially for what we're into, cars and automobiles. But yeah, and the unique thing about them is they're every bit as well built now as they were back then. They're durable, they're rugged, you can let your kids play with them, and they also are well built stylistically. I mean, they're nice to look at, so you can use them as a display piece if you want to.
And you say you have a selection of these then.
We do. We've got fire engines, tow trucks, regular hot rods. We've got biplanes. We've got single wing planes. You name it. We've got hot rod tricycles. We've got one called the Sky Princess. That's a pink tricycle. They're just gorgeous. Very well built.
So again, the point I want to make today on the Handy Randy Show is that Summit Racing is quite diversified. Stop thinking just race equipment. They still have that, and they're still the best in the business.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to race equipment.
Yeah.
But if you walk into the store, and our store in our viewing area, by the way, is on Interstate 76, just east of Akron, exit 29, open every day,
right.
9 until 9.
Correct.
Except major holidays.
Correct.
I would like to talk about gifts today on the show.
Okay.
And whether it could be a Christmas gift, it could be a birthday present for that motorhead in your family. Doesn't necessarily have to be the man motorhead. Could be the lady motorhead as well.
No, when I came to Summit Racing, I was a car guy, but I was a little naive in the scope of the car culture. I came there and I met a few ladies, and in talking with them, they were talking about rebuilding motors, doing frame-off restorations, and I go, well, you and your husband do that as a project? It's no, my husband isn't into cars. I am.
Wow.
And they're doing it themselves, and the cars they're making are just fabulous. They're great cars, so everybody's into it there, and that's why we try to have a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, we love Summit Racing, and they're so supportive to especially what I do as far as the car community. Mm-hmm. And you can hardly go to a car cruise-in or car show that Summit Racing isn't helping out. Mm-hmm. And we really want to thank you, Kyle, and the organization for what you do for us in our community here in Northeastern Ohio. It's so important. But Summit Racing is much more than Northeastern Ohio.
Yes, yeah, we're nationwide. We've got stores in Sparks, Nevada, near Reno. We've got a store in McDonough, Georgia, near Atlanta, and of course the one here in Akron, over in Talmadge, Ohio. So
and you can reach out to that person in Washington State or Florida via the catalogs.
you can. Summit's philosophy is that, take for example, you have a car project and you need a part. You don't want to wait 3 weeks to get your water pump. You want to get your car on the road so you can get back out enjoying it. So we have our distribution centers and retail stores attached to them in 3 different locations throughout the country so that we can get you a part as quickly as possible, sometimes in less than 2 days.
So parts, performance, and gifts. All available, and again, online.
Oh, absolutely, online. You can call in, however you feel comfortable. If you want to come into the store and touch the stuff, that's fine with us too. You know.
So again, folks, it's much more than just car stuff. By the way, they do have a great assortment of car stuff. Not only high performance, but the everyday repair part, whether it be a wiper blade or wiper motor or hub bearing, they have everything.
Brakes, suspension parts. I mean, you know, the racers are great to us and they're a big part of our business. But even the racer has his grocery getter that he's got to keep rolling. So we try to service that part of the community too.
Okay, we want to switch gears here, and I'm a T-shirt guy.
Okay.
As you can tell.
Okay.
I hardly see Handy Randy in anything but a T-shirt. Every once in a while, Mama makes me dress up and put on a tie for church. She doesn't allow me to wear my Handy Randy shirt to church very often. So I want to take a moment and take a look at some of the very cool T-shirts.
Okay.
Like the one I got on, very cool Handy Randy T-shirt. This one is, it looks a little bit like the new Akron Rubber Ducks.
Oh, does it?
A little bit like
well,
that new logo.
I've not seen that logo yet, but this particular one is Mr. Horsepower, and he's an iconic image for Clay Smith cams. Clay Smith is probably one of the top brand names as far as apparel at Genuine Hot Rod Hardware and Summit Racing, and so we feature quite a few of the Clay Smith line of shirts. Now, as far as T-shirts, when we're talking about T-shirts at Summit Racing and Genuine Hot Rod in particular, we offer through Genuine Hot Rod Hardware over 400 choices of T-shirts, and they range in price from $14 to $40 depending upon the licensed logo and what the graphic is. So no matter what type of car, Mopar, Chevy, Ford, Mustang, whatever you're into, we're most likely going to have a shirt that fits your personality.
Wait a minute. I bring up the rat fink, and you say fit, and you said fit my personality. Was that like a Freudian slip, or what was that all about?
Yeah, that's a throwback to some of us that were around in the late 60s and the 70s, the Ed Roth era, and Mad TV, and cartoons, and these are wildly popular.
No, excellent. You know, I mentioned the Akron Rubber Ducks professional baseball team. It was down to canal rats or rubber duckies.
Oh, really?
And I'm just thinking about how difficult it may have been for Mama and her little princess to bring home a canal rat T-shirt. Okay for us car guys to wear a rat fink, but canal rats might have fit right in.
I would have bought that.
I'm going to go through some other. Now, this is kind of a man's T-shirt. You very seldom find a lady. Some of them do, don't get me wrong, but very seldom do you find a lady that are into the Three Stooges.
Yeah, you know, the neat thing about the Three Stooges is a lot of us that grew up back in the day, and of course I'm talking 60s and 70s, we watched the Stooges every Saturday morning. So we saw this Stooges Knucklehead Speed Shop T-shirt, and we couldn't resist putting it out there and seeing if there were other people that loved it as much as we did, and it turned out it was a smashing hit. And I think a lot of young people are into the Stooges too because of you know, networks like Nick at Night. They can see those old shows, and it kind of breathes new life into some of the stuff that we loved back in the day.
I have a Three Stooges story to tell you, and this I got in trouble here on my Handy Randy show. Sometimes I'm out of control. But I showed an old black and white clip of the Three Stooges. They were running a restaurant, and a customer came in and ordered rabbit stew. And Larry was chasing a cat out of the kitchen that was pestering him with a meat cleaver. Well, it just so happened that I was also promoting the Summit County Humane Society that same show.
Oh, no.
So I had to open my big mouth, okay, and start talking about and show that clip, and some cat lady, and they're like vicious.
Oh, yeah.
Called into the station, very angry at Handy Randy. Again, I remember it as like, lady, it's the Three Stooges, but just didn't get it. Kind of more of a man thing.
Yeah.
And I'll congratulate you ladies out there that do get into the Three Stooges, because you can come to my garage anytime you want. Hey, this is I think one of my favorites of all the T-shirts you have.
It's the #1 T-shirt at genuine Hot Rod Hardware. It's called The Evolution of the Mechanic, and I think it's self-explanatory.
Right. As a matter of fact, I know, and a few of my mechanic friends are maybe back in this stage of evolution still. You know who you are out there and who I'm talking about, don't you? You know, hairy knuckle guy? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
but that's a great T-shirt and really says a lot. No words needed.
Correct.
And then let's take a look at this very cool logo. Tell us about this, Kyle.
All right, this is a Lions Dragway T-shirt. Out of the Dragway type classic T-shirts that we have, and we have several. We've got Irwindale, Beeline, and places like that. But Lions was like the hotbed of drag racing action back in the day. I mean, Mickey Thompson and that crew really took drag racing off of the city streets and onto the track. And that is another great T-shirt for those that remember the old days. And we also support that with other types of merchandise, because a lot of those strips have closed down, and they're more closing every day as the cities encroach on them, and it's just good to remember some of the old times.
If you go over to the apparel department and the T-shirt department, let's say that you're a Mopar fan, an Oldsmobile fan, a Ford fan, and of course the Chevy fans out there, there are specific T-shirts just for them. If you love your Oldsmobile, you can have Oldsmobile plastered on your shirt.
You can, and if you're a GTO guy, we've got T-shirts and hoodies and hats for you. If you're into Shelby's particularly, we'll have shirts for you. I mean, we don't want to exclude anybody, because one of the reasons we put so much effort into this, and a reason that it's such a great addition to Summit Racing, is that we've got the parts and the paint and all the accoutrements to make your car look fantastic. Now, but that's not where it stops, and you know this as well as I do. That doesn't stop in your garage. That's part of your life. So you want things for your home, you want to dress the part. It's part of your personality, and you want to show it to everyone, and that's why we try to have something for everybody. We think about that as we purchase these items, like what type of guy, who doesn't have any apparel. It used to be Mopar apparel, you couldn't get it, it wasn't around, and now there's an upsurge of Mopar apparel, and the Mopar guys are just eating it up for us. I mean, it's been a really good reception from them.
Now when you want to step up away from the T-shirt,
okay,
and you want to get dressed up for that special occasion, for that banquet or so forth.
Or you're going to a cruise-in car show, you're taking the lady out on a Saturday night. We've got a whole line of mechanic shirts. Now we've got Ford, Mopar, Chevy mechanic shirts. We've got the gray ones, and we've also got the traditional black. Now this one that Randy's showing you now is our pinstriped mechanic shirt. A mechanic shirt, it will always have a pocket. There'll be a pencil, a place to put your pencil or pen. These are pretty heavy-duty fabric, easy care. I mean, this particular one's a red cap. All the mechanics know the quality of a red cap shirt. And in fact, this is our #1 mechanic shirt. That's an exclusive to us. That's a genuine HotRod hardware design there.
You mentioned Mopar.
Mopar guys.
The availability.
Oh,
and you
my
know what?
God,
The Mopar guys are nuts.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know a sane Mopar person. They're all a little cuckoo.
They're rabid. I mean, they
are.
are rabid fans of Mopar, and they don't want to talk about anything else but Mopar.
No, they'll slam your Ford, they'll slam your Chevy because they love their Mopar. And there's a lot of them out there. And guess what? I can understand why, because most Mopars are very cool.
Mopars are cool. My father had Mopars under me the whole time I grew up, high school, college. So I'm a closet fan of Mopar. I try to love them all, but yeah, Mopar holds a special place. This particular one is a Mopar shirt. This is a camp shirt. You'll notice there isn't a pocket here, but it does have Mopar embroidery on the front, and it's a really high quality made shirt. You'll have this a long time.
So all you Mopar nuts out there, and you know I'm just kidding you. You're not all crazy. You're just all kind of crazy. and again, I've got to give you credit. You picked a winner. When you picked your Mopar, you really picked a winner. However, Handy Randy is a Ford guy.
Yeah.
And I might be pulling in, and there might be 30 Mopars all lined up, and the Cudas and the Challengers and all of the cool satellites and Belvederes and so forth. And I'll pull in my Babe Magnet Lincoln Town Car, or Continental, I should say. I should know what kind of car I have. And I'm going to have this on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Ford fan too. I got a 150 in my driveway. We wanted to do something special for the Ford fans, something that was a little bit different than just the blue oval. So we made this camp shirt. It's a paneled shirt, which gives it a little bit of style, but then we embroidered in blue flames above and below the Ford oval for you. And same thing, easy care. A lot of guys buy them a size too big and wear a t-shirt under it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pretty versatile shirt. It travels well. You can see that I've had this in my suitcase for a while, so it's a little bit wrinkled up.
Let me ask you this, Kyle. Did you say that you did this? So this shirt would be unique to HotRod Hardware? We wouldn't find this in a department store?
You're not going to see this in a store anywhere, no. You might be able to find it from maybe 1 or 2 other places online, but I doubt it. You might have to spend a day doing it, but you're going to find it in the store right here in Talmadge, Ohio.
So now when Mama wants me to get dressed up to go to church, I have some choices. And I could put a tie on to make her happy, a blue tie.
You could.
With my Ford shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We got to keep her happy. It's a full-time job. All right, now, again, we're concentrating today on gift ideas. And again, it could be Christmas. It could be a birthday. As a matter of fact, I've got an anniversary coming up and in about 45 days, and I'm thinking of making some suggestions, trying to keep Mama happy. And, you know, why couldn't I say, hey, it's been a while since I've seen you in a new baseball cap, honey.
Yeah, yeah.
And so always thinking about her, I could, when she's riding in the Lincoln, she could have a nice baseball cap. And what a wonderful anniversary gift.
It would be.
Because I'm such a special guy.
You could get matching caps, you know, but the thing with some of these items that we offer is that we know car guys are hard to buy for. I mean, you can't just go out and buy him an intake manifold. You just can't. It's hard to get him something that he's really going to like. But if you know that he's a Mopar guy or a Ford guy or a Chevy guy, you'll know that we have the gear for it, and it'll make it easy. In fact, a lot of guys mark the pages of our catalog, bend over the corners and whatever, and just happen to leave it laying around at the appropriate time, whether it be a birthday, anniversary, Christmas, or just for the heck of it. So that's what we try to do, is help the ladies out and get the guys the stuff that they want.
So Nurse Nancy, come anniversary time, and you always talk to me about, she's always asking about, well, why can't we wear matching shirts? And it's like, no. No, I'm not going to wear matching shirts. I'm not one of those type of guys. But
Okay.
I could do this matching hat thing.
Yeah, I
Very
mean, you
easy.
can see we've got Ford, Mopar, Chevy, and these are just a couple of hats that we pulled out. I mean, there's a whole lot
Oh,
more
man.
hats than these. In our headwear section, you're going to find over 100 choices of hats ranging from $14 to $30. So there's a wide range. There's got to be something in there that's going to suit you.
Now, switching gears, and
Okay.
this has got to be, when it comes to hardware, this has got to be just making a lot of people very happy, Kyle.
One of the hottest signs that we carry, and I know this is tied to the Mopar side of things too, but the Willies, particularly these years of Willies, are extremely popular. So we couldn't help ourselves. We found this, you give me the Willies sign, and we just had to have it.
We ran into a friend from our area that's in the National Hot Rod Hall of Fame, Barb Hamilton. And Barb built, when she was in high school in Cleveland, she built a Willies.
Wow.
And she was racing her Willies that looks just like this, only blue, that she built herself. And before women were really into racing, Barb Hamilton was out with her Willies, just like this. Very sweetheart lady from the east side of Cleveland, and has wonderful stories that early on in the NHRA, they weren't really fond of racing, and women were only allowed to race stock cars. And we found out from her that the hierarchy of NHRA found out that Shirley Muldowney was racing a dragster, and they took away the license from all of the ladies that were driving anything but stock cars, because they were terrified that Shirley might hurt herself and it would be a black mark for NHRA.
Oh,
well,
man.
Barb took her Willies, put her on a trailer, and went to California as an outlaw, because she knew that NHRA was headquartered there, and had a meeting with them. And when they started threatening with a lawsuit, NHRA wised up, and it's all history from there.
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, with the Force family, the
my.
ladies in that family, and
Yeah.
Alexis DeJoria. I mean, that's just to name a few.
So you've got to love that Willies, and if you ever have an opportunity to see Barb Hamilton, our Barb Hamilton, and a member of the NHRA Hall of Fame. Now, here's another popular sign.
Yes, what happens in the garage stays in the garage, and this particular one is a heavy-duty, like a parking type street sign. Now, this is every bit as heavy-duty as one that you would steal off a post somewhere in your town. So this is a really well-built one, very popular, because every car guy or car lady shares the same opinion. What happens in the garage stays in the garage. It's my business. Now, this particular sign is only one of over 1,000 signs that we sell at Genuine Hot Rod Hardware. I mean, we carry steel signs, die-cut signs, neon signs, rotating signs, street signs like that, parking signs. We've even got over 70 different types of personalized signs, things you can put your name on, your address, your garage, or whatever saying you'd like to have. So, I mean, we got a sign for everybody. They range from $9 at the low to over $750 if you get into something very large with a lot of neon.
So Nurse Nancy, again, another great anniversary gift here we're looking at. And if you don't buy it for me, I might buy it for you. Always thinking. And then I guess this is a real popular sign, Kyle.
Yes, that's one of the top few signs. I mean, it is a die-cut sign of the United States, and each state is represented by that state's license plate.
Wonderful. And then one more time, we want to remind you that we brought in this huge pedal car that's right out front, and collectible. If you find a pedal car that was built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, there are
you're gonna
big bucks.
You're going to pay a lot of money. I've talked to quite a few people during some of the shows that I've attended that have collected pedal cars, and it's not uncommon to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for a pedal car from that era. Normally they're not in the greatest condition. They're rusted, obviously aged, and the rubber is bad. So you have to, not only do you have to pay $2,000 to $3,000 to get one, then you have to put money in it to restore it. The ones that we have now are still built of steel, just like the ones that you had back in the day. I mean, they're every bit as good a quality. They've got adjustable pedals, upholstered seats, there's chrome on them. I mean, they're built for the kids to bang them around. So if you buy it as just a decoration or a collectible, you're going to have it a long time. In fact, even if you buy it for the kids, the grandkids, they're going to stand up to the wear. Now, I'm talking to a lot of young mothers at events, and they're buying them. And I'm talking about ladies that are maybe in their mid-20s, maybe early 30s, and they weren't around when you and I were banging these up in our grandparents' driveways back in the 50s. But they're buying them from their kids, for their kids, because they want them to get out of the house, get away from the video games and the TV, and learn hand-eye coordination.
So again, folks, this is the reason I invited Kyle on the show is Summit Racing has been so important to the Handy Randy program over the years, to the car community, and we thought we would take this opportunity to show you here on television and on YouTube that Summit Racing is much more than just racing. They do the racing, the best at that, but they're into parts and this hot rod hardware department. It's huge, available online. Go to summitracing.com. When you're there, you can get your free catalog, you get the 800 number, you can order online. Anything you've seen here, available to you, delivered right to your doorstep. Thanks to people like Kyle May and the rest of the wonderful staff at Summit Racing.